Your position has been eliminated. 12 words. That is all it takes now. Not a meeting, not a conversation, not even a phone call, a notification. A calendar invite that says transition discussion 15 minutes. And then a Zoom screen where some HR stranger reads from a card. In 2023, they said it was coming for truck drivers and warehouse workers. For the people on the floor, fast forward to 2026, electricians are billing $112 an hour. Welders are turning down work. Plumbers in Phoenix have 6-week wait lists. And you, with your degree, your certifications, your 12 years of experience, just got a generic rejection email from Target. They told you to work with your brain, not your bare hands. They told you the future was digital. They told you knowledge was power. They lied, and I'm going to show you that they knew they were lying. Here is a number I want you to sit with. In March 2023, Goldman Sachs published a data-driven economic research note, estimating 300 million full-time jobs globally were exposed to generative AI. Not might be affected someday, exposed right now. And they broke it down. 46% of administrative tasks, gone. 44% of legal work, gone. 37% of financial operations, gone. Construction is 6%. Maintenance and repair is 4%. Installation trades are under 8%. Read that again. The jobs that require you to stand up are almost untouched. The jobs that let you sit down are completely gutted. That report was free to download. Anyone could read it and nobody panicked. Because the story everyone had been told since childhood was so deeply embedded, so baked into every career counselor script that the data couldn't override it. The narrative said brains beat hands. The data said not anymore. And now we're living in the aftermath of that massive lie. Tech eliminated over 750,000 positions between 2023 and 2025. Not gradually, in waves, in quarterly earnings bloodbaths dressed up as efficiency drives. But here is the part that should really make you absolutely sick. It wasn't just tech, it was the temples of white-collar respectability. Deloitte, EY, KPMG, the Big Four slashed audit teams by double digits. They did this right after deploying generative AI into their workflows. Junior associates who used to spend 80 hours a week reviewing documents. Their function now runs in 11 minutes on a proprietary LLM. Law firms followed, cutting first-year associate hiring by over 30%. Not because business was bad, because the business didn't need bodies anymore. And the Bureau of Labor Statistics wage data tells the rest of the story. Median real wages for white-collar occupations fell for the third consecutive year. Meanwhile, skilled trades saw their median real wages rise across the board. Electricians up 11%, HVAC technicians up 14%, diesel mechanics up 9%. Two economies, diverging in real time, one sinking, one rising. And you're standing right there on the absolute wrong side. That is not an insult. It is a diagnosis of how you got here. So why didn't AI eat the blue-collar world first? Like they said, there is a surface answer, a real answer, and the gap between them. That gap is exactly where the whole scam actually lives. The surface answer is something called Moravec's paradox, identified back in 1988. Things that feel easy to humans are monstrously hard for machines. Like walking on uneven ground or threading a bolt in a tight space. They require spatial awareness, fine motor control, and real-time physics adaptation. Billions of years of evolution packed into your tiny nervous system. But the things that feel hard, like calculus, legal reasoning, or data synthesis, those are computationally child's play. A simple language model can do them. $100 a month subscription can do them while you're sleeping. This has been known by computer scientists for nearly 4 whole decades. Artificial intelligence would come for the thinkers long before the lifters. That information was in textbooks, academic papers, and public lectures. Yet the educational system spent decades telling you the exact opposite. Get away from your hands, get closer to the glowing screen. Learn to manipulate symbols, not materials, because that is where safety lies. That wasn't ignorance. The people designing these systems read the research. The real question is why they told you the exact reverse. And this is where it stops being about technology and starts being about money. Here is a dark fact that just doesn't get enough attention. The fully loaded cost of a mid-level knowledge worker in the States runs between $120,000 and $160,000 a year. To automate half their output, a company just needs a software license. Maybe a few $100s a month, maybe a few thousand. Now compare that exact scenario to trying to automate a local plumber. You need a humanoid robot capable of navigating unpredictable physical environments, navigating crawl spaces, flooded basements, and 40-year-old pipe systems. The hardware alone is hundreds of thousands, possibly millions per unit. The error rate is high, maintenance is constant, and liability is astronomical. The return on investment just isn't there, and won't be for decades. But the ROI on replacing you was there the moment GPT-4 shipped. Corporate America moved fast, not because the technology was perfect. They moved blindingly fast because the financial math was absolutely perfect. Every white-collar worker automated is a massive six-figure annual savings. That operating margin flows straight to the top into one place. The CEO to median worker compensation ratio crossed 399 to 1. Let me put that in terms your exhausted body can understand. If you earn $1 in an 8-hour shift, your CEO earns more. They earned $399 in that exact same shift. And the gap has widened every single year for 2 decades. Corporate profits after tax are hovering near 12% of GDP. The long-run post-war average is only about 6.5%. They have literally doubled their profit extraction from the entire economy. The primary mechanism for that doubling has been headcount reduction enabled by AI. You are not a person to the system. You're a cost center. The moment they found a cheaper way, you became a line item. A line item on a spreadsheet waiting to be quietly deleted. There is a layer beneath even this, and I almost didn't include it, because it sounds conspiratorial, but the data actually supports it. Every serious political historian has documented the same pattern across centuries. Social upheaval and structural revolution doesn't come from the poorest. It comes from the educated middle, people who see the system's contradictions, people with enough expectation to feel personally betrayed by those contradictions. The French Revolution was driven by angry lawyers and wealthy merchants. The Arab Spring was college graduates who simply couldn't find work. The American Revolution was landowners deciding the social contract was utterly broken. Now, think about 2024. What exactly was happening back then? Overeducated and undercompensated knowledge workers were getting very loud. Unionization attempts surged and populist political energy hit unseen historical levels. Institutional trust was low. People were not just unhappy, they were organizing. And then conveniently, the thing that made them valuable got completely automated. I'm not saying someone drew this up on a corporate whiteboard. I'm saying the incentives aligned for every major power center in the economy. They all benefited from a defanged and financially desperate middle class. A middle class that is too busy surviving to cause any real trouble. A person with a mortgage and an obsolete skill set doesn't march. They open DoorDash, refresh Indeed, and take a job paying half. They take that massive pay cut and they quietly say, "Thank you." That is not a conspiracy. That is an incentive structure working perfectly as intended. And you were just standing on the wrong side of it. Now, let me show you what the other side of this looks like. Because the hypocrisy of these tech companies is absolutely surgical in nature. Microsoft posted a 42% increase in cloud and AI revenue. That same year, they cut over 10,000 workers across the company. They didn't just cut underperformers, they wiped out entire functional teams. Alphabet cleared $350 billion in annual gross revenue, while sending pink slips to engineers who gave the company a decade. Meta, Amazon, and Salesforce all share the exact same depressing story. Record revenue, record profit margins, and record numbers of corporate layoffs. Then their CEOs get on stage at Davos and say the words. You've heard the lies about AI augmenting human capability and empowerment. They tell you the future is humans and AI working happily together. Look at their mouths and then look at their quarterly financial filings. Their mouths say collaboration, but their SEC disclosures say total elimination. The most disgusting part is that they convinced you to blame yourself. Go to any layoff forum on Reddit or LinkedIn and read the comments. People saying they should have upskilled or learned AI a lot sooner. No, you did exactly what the broken system told you to do. You got the degree, paid the tuition, and took the desk job. You showed up every morning and performed the function they assigned you. And then they simply found a much cheaper function to replace you. That is not your personal failure. That is just their ruthless business model. All right, enough fire. Let's talk about actually moving through this mess. I refuse to show you the burning building and just say good luck. You came here looking for an exit door, so here is the door. But I'll warn you right now, it doesn't look how you expect. The first thing you need to do is something brutally simple tonight. Go to a dataset compiled by researchers at Oxford's Martin School. It estimates the automation probability for over 700 specific occupations. The Brookings Institution has a highly searchable version of this exact data. Just type in Brookings Automation Risk by Occupation and find your title. Find your exact job title on that list and look at the number. If it is above 50%, you need to understand what that means. That number is absolutely not a distant forecast for the year 2040. The original study was from 2013, and it vastly underestimated the speed. If your job is flagged, parts of your role are already being absorbed. The countdown isn't just starting, the countdown is already rapidly ending. Now here is where I diverge from every other creator talking about this. The standard advice is to learn AI tools and become prompt engineers. Let me be very clear with you. That is a massive trap. Think about it for 10 seconds if your value is operating AI. What happens when that tool inevitably gets much easier to operate? What happens when next year's version doesn't need a skilled operator? You've spent 6 months training yourself into the exact same vulnerable position, a slightly more efficient cog in a machine learning to run without cogs. The real escape is completely orthogonal to that entire digital axis. The one thing AI cannot do is be physically present in reality. It can't navigate a high-stakes, spatially unpredictable, trust-dependent physical situation. No language model can sit across from a crying client and build trust. No algorithm can show up in a crawl space when a pipe bursts. No chatbot makes a human hand over $100,000 on a handshake. That is why the local plumber earns $92 an hour. Not because plumbing is intellectually complex, but because it is embodied and local. Those qualities are AI-proof because they require what software cannot ship: a human body in a specific place with a name attached to the outcome. So here is the actual concrete move you need to make right now. What percentage of your earnings depends on tasks described in a text prompt? Writing, analyzing, summarizing, organizing, formatting, or basic coding. If it is above 70%, you are running a dangerously concentrated portfolio. Digitizable knowledge work is the single most volatile asset class on Earth. That is no longer a career, that is just a completely unhedged financial bet. You need to diversify your exposure right now, not someday in the future. Start building income in something requiring your hands, face, or physical presence. Sales, where the close happens in a room, or a skilled physical trade. Consulting, where you're embedded on-site, not working deliverable remote. Anything where the client pays for you being there, not an output file. And then there is the underlying financial architecture that nobody wants to talk about. Nobody talks about it because it is boring, but boring is where freedom lives. Right now, pull up your bank statement and add every fixed monthly obligation: rent, mortgage, car payment, insurance, subscriptions, and all your minimum debt payments. Divide that total sum by your actual monthly after-tax income. 37% of Americans can't cover a $400 emergency expense. Let that sink in. Not $4,000, just $400. Over a third of the country is one bad week from financial freefall. If your fixed cost ratio is above 50%, you are locked in. You cannot take a risk. You cannot retrain. You cannot walk away. You can't spend 3 months building something new when you're chained to a desk, functionally chained to a dying job, being eaten alive by software automation. So cut your costs, not because frugality is noble, but because slack is tactical. Every single dollar of breathing room you create is a dollar of optionality. It is the difference between taking the first gig the algorithm forcefully serves you and being able to say, no, I'm spending 90 days learning to weld, getting an HVAC certification, or building a local client base that requires showing up. That financial slack is your only real exit ramp. Without it, you're a passenger in a car driven straight toward a cliff, and the people driving the car have already locked all the doors. Let me leave you with this heavy thought. They didn't come for the blue-collar jobs first because they're hard to take. The physical world is messy, it doesn't scale, it doesn't compress into a subscription. They came for your job because your job was clean, digital, and quantifiable. Very easy to perfectly replicate at a tiny fraction of the original cost. And they sold you the absolute lie that your job was the safe one. They needed you to stay in the chair long enough to build your replacement. Well, now you know the dark truth about what is actually happening. The real question is what you do with the next 90 days. Because whether you like it or not, the chair is already gone.